So this is what happened. We had broken up with this chick. Okay, she had cheated on me. Nikamsamehe, and then the relationship ikaanza kusway up and down and all that. And honestly speaking, we were not in good terms. Nearly every day we have an argument, and for me, it really strained my life and my daily routine until it reached a point whereby now I said, whatever happens, happens. Okay, I won't take any more of this. If she wants to leave, fine. I can't hold on to somebody like this. Okay, because every day it's always a headache. Okay, you don't communicate. You're just always silent. You don't tell me things, and it's a kind of conflict. So I just decided to go off. Okay, just to go silent. I just cut communication, little by little, until it reaches a point that we don't communicate for days. We don't communicate for weeks. We don't communicate for months until it reaches the year. Okay, and after 1 year, she called me. She called me and she told me I need some money. Actually, she needed some money, and she was really in need of money. So mimi out of love that I had for her, na nile tulikuwa tumekaa naye, nikamtumia do, and from that point tukaanza kuongea, and one thing led to another. Juu alikuwa job kwingine, nilikuwa job kwingine, so we planned that we were going to meet for a date. Yeah, we met for a date. And the way we were talking for the first time was more intense. Kuna vitu hata mlikuwa mnaambiana, because ilikuwa kitambo mkiwa pamoja. And what happened is that we talked and talked, okay? And she didn't want to leave. She was feeling the connection. But for me, I decided I'm not taking her to my place. I'm not taking her to my place. So we parted ways. Okay, but we continued talking. Next we made a date. Okay, we made a date, but she said she was passing by my place to have lunch. So she passed by for lunch, and we watched the movie. Before we realized time ilikuwa ishaenda. So we spent the night there, and then the following day she was called to report back to work. Okay, so that was on March. So days went by, it reached April. And on 1st April, she told me, hey, I am pregnant. Now, I didn't know the answer to give to her. I don't know what I'm going to tell her. Okay? Because I had kicked her out of my life. And now that she's back, and she's telling me that I am pregnant. And it just said, one day with her. So at first I couldn't believe that what she's saying is true, okay? Because the first time she had cheated on me, I never trusted her anymore. I never trusted her. So with my thoughts, I was like, now, I'm too young. At that time, I was just 24 years, and I didn't know much of being a father. And for her, she was also still young, almost my age as well. And the moment she told me I'm pregnant, I just told her, by the way, that okay, I'll be responsible. I'll be responsible for it. Because that was the first question she asked me when I first approached her. The first question she asked me was, suppose I get pregnant and suppose I get pregnant, what will you do? I told her I'll be responsible. So that was the exact answer I gave her when she called. But it was not easy. It wasn't easy at all to give such a kind of an answer, and you have little resources. No, investing, you cannot invest where you think that there is no opportunity. So I told her that, but I had not fully made up my mind that I want to be a father. So at some point I was not ready. At some point I was not really like talking to her. And she told me that she could not go home because of a condition. The parent was saying who's the father's baby, what happened, and such kind of questions. So she had no place to go, and her place of work, she had been fired. There had been issues where she was working, so she has no money, she has no job, she has no place to stay. Now the second part comes in. So for me, I was working in a very toxic job. So what I did is that I quit the job and decided to look for other options. And at that moment, I invited her to my place. So when she came to my place, we started having a conversation, then it happened, and what had gone throughout our lives. So when she moved in, that is when you know that staying with someone in the house, there's also patangananga na very many misunderstandings. Okay? Because, living alone, there's a way that you want your place to be, that they want things arranged in a given manner. Okay? And then here comes a girl that wants things arranged in a different manner. Okay? So we had those conflicts. And I tell you, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. And in my mind, I started wondering, the way this conflict is going on, and is this really my baby? I couldn't believe it. So one day I just made up a story that I had dreamt that she had told me that the baby is not mine. So I was wondering if this dream is true, that the baby is mine. So when I told her that, she started crying. So that was a clear message to me that she was not comfortable with what I asked. Because her feedback was, so you don't believe that this baby is yours? In my response, I said, no, I was just saying that because I had this dream, so I don't know if it's connected in any way. So I didn't get an answer there. So as the baby continued growing, we went for the scan, and when the days neared, we decided now to buy the baby's shopping. I was now becoming a father, but I started now accepting that this is my son here that I'm going to raise, and I have to be responsible for whatever will happen here. So no matter my condition, no matter my economic status, I have to be there for my son, and I have to be there for her. So I was there, and I had started having that mentality of being a father. I was being a child every day in our lives. So it reached the D-Day. So she had remained with almost 3 days or a week to a day of delivery. So at that point, I had sacrificed all my time, my money, into keeping her, housing her, buying the baby things, okay? And luckily I had gotten a job before then. I had gotten a job. So during her delivery, I was not available then. I was a job, but she went and stayed at her auntie's place. And the auntie took her to hospital. But the following day, I just gave some reasons at job that I was not able to come because of an emergency 1, 2, 3, and I decided to visit her. So I visited her. So that previous night I prepared a very delicious meal, fish and vegetables, and some fine tea, and I took it to see her at the hospital. And she was so happy to see me that I was going to see her at the hospital. So no one knew me at their home, not even her auntie. So I went there, the hospital, and I was able to see my son. I was able to hold my son in my arms. I also met her auntie, we had a conversation, just a small conversation, but after some time she had to deal with her activities. So that day she was being discharged, so I decided to take her to her own place where she stays now. Okay, because her mother didn't know that who is the father of the child, because the mother hadn't told her that is her daughter. So we ordered a cab and we went to their home. So on arrival, we didn't find her mother though, but I made sure that she arrived home safely and that she had everything she needed. Now, after a few days, okay, she stopped communicating. I was wondering what's the issue. I told her, if there's anything that is bothering me, just tell me. Okay, that is the message that I left her. But later when she switched on my phone, she told me that okay, baby, you've taken care of me. I want you to take care of yourself. So I didn't understand that message. So I had to call her. What's the issue? She told me that I feel guilty, I have a lot of stress, and I couldn't get the message. So So since that month had been paid, I decided to send her some money. So I sent her money. Okay, I sent her amount I'd never sent her. So that she can do shopping for the baby, and she can also do shopping for herself. So to my surprise, she reversed the amount, and she told me that I can't accept. That is a lot of money. Not like you have a baby, you have yourself, you need to do the shopping and all that. And she told me, I just feel guilty for the good things that you've done to me. I never told you that this baby doesn't belong to you. It belongs to a guy. A different guy that I had met when I had left you. This guy had taken me to their home. He'd proposed. He even told me about their family. He even showed me their parents. But I didn't know he would do all this just to sleep with me and get me pregnant. Okay? So when I told him that I was pregnant, he insulted me. And he said that he was too young to be a father. But when I told you that I'm pregnant, you accepted it. But when I told you that I'm pregnant, you accepted it. And that is the thing that has made me to keep on moving. That is the thing that has made me to keep this baby. And that is the thing that has made me to not commit suicide. I had decided I'm going to commit suicide. But because of you, I kept the baby. So at that point, I couldn't digest what you were saying. Now that I've done all the sacrifices, and then she comes and tells me that this son is not your son. I was like, now, why did you just have to hang on me like this? How could you just be true to me? So at that point, I just felt like I just felt like, I don't know. So I told her now, look, I cannot do this, okay? I can't believe anymore, because now you are telling me that I'm not the father's son. Then what next will you tell me? What next will you tell me? Now, at that point, I completely lost all my trust from her. I lost all the trust. Okay? And funny enough, she told me that, if I would be willing to be the father of his son. And I was like, really? You're asking me to be the father of your son, and yet this is not my son, while his father is outside there hanging out around with other girls? I'm like, really? So I didn't give an answer. I didn't. So I was left with this question. Suppose maybe do a DNA and it comes so that you visit my son. Or maybe something happened, maybe uh, anything happened, because she was telling me that this son looks exactly like his father. So that was the worst statement that I heard her say.